there's very few people that actually come here and go out and do what I do. And so therefore I really don't ever run into anybody in the woods. The people that say stuff like that, they've never been here. They've never went out. There's never been any research done here other than the research that I've done. What they are doing is they are possibly driving an endangered species to extinction by not being open-minded enough to believe that something that they don't know about actually exists. You have to be dedicated.
The preserve itself is 729,000 acres in size, so it's a fairly large public land area. The Big Cypress Swamp, the preserve only protects about a third of it. There's over 1 million acres of protected lands within the Big Cypress Swamp, both state and federal parks and forests. A matter of fact, you know, when you look at it, this is actually the largest natural area east of the Mississippi River when you take into consideration Big Cypress National Preserve, Everglades National Park, and all the other protected areas within the Everglades.
When you're filming in the national park or the preserve, you have to have a permit to film in a preserve, or you're not allowed to film. And so we're just on the edge of the property, and I don't worry a whole lot about that. You know, we draw a lot of permits, but I don't really care anymore. This trail we're standing on here.
I know Dave Seeley. He owns a private property within the confines of Big Cypress National Preserve. He owns the Trail Lakes campground. I mean, Dave is a person whose family basically raised him here and everything within the Big Cypress Swamp, and he's primarily trying to make a living by operating his campground there and everything.
I've never really had any donations or anything. I do this just t-shirt sales, and is what I'm kind of relying on right now. It's pretty good. I've had some encounters or sightings and stories over the years. I've seen skunk apes 3 times. Find tracks on a pretty regular basis, at least once a year during the dry season. I've got a good idea where there's a decent sized group that live, and I know their routes and I follow them. And they're in the trees too. They're not like the Bigfoot. They climb trees, so it makes them even more difficult to track.
We've never had any official sightings of the skunk ape. There is the legend of the skunk ape that occurs here in Southwest Florida. I don't know for sure if it exists or not. There was 1 or 2 reports back in the late 1990s and everything, but again, they weren't really official reports or anything like that. So.
Okay, let's hang this bait.
I let Chip out. He got up about 2:30 in the morning, so I let him outside, and he just got out here on the ground, and I heard the most god-awful noise I ever heard in my life. It was some animal or creature or something. It was like, I guess you call a low-pitch growl or something like that, and it was on the other side of the camper. And Chip come right in the house, and he laid down, he went to sleep. He didn't even want outside after that. So what it was, I don't know. I took the flashlight, I shined it out there, and I couldn't see anything out there. I don't know if something exists or not. I can't say one way or another.
This trail we're standing on here, this was, you know, back in 1991, I got arrested on a 3-count federal indictment for drug smuggling, and this is where all of that happened, right here on this trail. This trail goes down to a river. It was the main route for the Indians, and you know, I thought that I was treated fair through all of that. What I was doing, it was wrong. But you know, that's just part of the history of the area, and it was the times that I grew up in. And before that, it was rum running and Indian fighting and just plain hell raising. That's the Everglades. People that come here are generally running from something, and my family was the first to really get here and settle here in Everglades, the Chokoloskee area, back in 1890, and build a school. You just live through the park being formed and the preserve. It kind of gives you a different outlook on life.
I think it takes superstition and a curiosity, and some people want to believe he's out there. I personally don't care if he is or he isn't, but some people want to believe he's out there because it just gives it's just an added attraction to the area. There's a swamp thing there. No, I really don't think it takes faith. Maybe some narrow-mindedness, but whatever.
Amazing Randy. He was on the Johnny Carson show like 50 times. He's a guy, he had $1 million for anybody that could prove like a ghost or something like that. CBS News brought their helicopter down and they brought the Amazing Randy, and we camped out for a few days. He's an older fella. And we looked over some sightings and stuff like that. And he specialized in hoaxes, like a preacher that would talk somebody out, an old person out of all their money and stuff like that. And people, they claimed they could talk to the audience, but they actually had radios in their ears.
Jody Dean. Jody Dean? No, she should be right there on your right side. Okay, she lives at 4267 Masterson.
4267 Masterson, I can see the angels of God all around your house.
That's disturbing when you see it.
So he did not like people that weren't honest. He did not like them at all. And it was his life to prove them wrong. Now this was a gift from the Indians, and this is the best bait that you can get. And we got a good wind, it's blowing back that way. And so what we want to do is we want to tie this liver up here like so. And this is best, you'll see in my field guide that, you know, if you're good sighting, this is what you want right here. And you hang that liver. There's a little blood in the bucket. I'm going to throw this blood against that tree so we get a good scent. And now I'm going to let it sit all night. And normally I'll rough the ground up where I can pick up tracks or set up a motion camera. And I've got some really good photos. But I'm not going to do that now. But this is the deal. That's a good set. And we'll just have to come back tomorrow in the morning and check it out, see what's going on here. You see where I've been doing a little feeding. I used to feed a lot of vegetable and lima bean, and but it's really not good to take an animal off its natural diet, and they get accustomed to being fed. It can really disrupt a lot. Oh, I live in reality. This recession is nothing. This is nothing to me. I'm used to it. Economically, I've been abused by the government all my life. There's people all over the country that understand the difficulties, you know, of just making it today, just making it. And but I can tell you that It's a rare breed like myself who's in a position where I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. That's a tough situation to be in, you know, and that's where I was talking about. You never give up. Now, I've pretty much proven that they exist, and there's going to be a certain amount of people. But people are always going to be wanting to know the secrets of the earth. And they want to unlock the mystery. And they want to put the puzzle together in their own head. People they'll always want to do that. That's the meaning of life. So there'll always be people here in the Glades looking, and there'll probably always be a few looking for the skunk ape, but that's the way it is. I'd like to get at least another, even a female, a male, down here in this area, just to up the gene pool a little bit. But the few remaining skunk apes, like up around Tallahassee, Ocala National Forest, Mayaca State Park, there's a few. But there's very few up there. And they are very lonely, and their days are very numbered. After 40 years of a skunk ape. Yeah, I had a lot of regrets. A lot of things I didn't do, a lot of things I should have done. It's been a roller coaster ride. Bad relationship after bad relationship. I was on television one time, and the girl left me over it. I was on The Daily Show, Comedy Central, Talk Soup. She said all her friends at the office said I looked like an idiot. And she left me. After like 7 years. Let me tell you something. Shit flows downhill. And I live at the bottom of the hill. And, you know, we get all the laws and all the rules and all the bullshit that they come up with in Washington has a way of winding up here in the swamp sooner or later. More and more it seems like that's just the way it is. You just fight. It's a protest. It's right. It's freedom. It's old Seminole Indian medicine woman told me, she said, David, you fight and you fight and you fight until you die.